After about 2 weeks, we are back to the parts unknown, known as the Clem and Claw Show. How's everybody doing? Everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had a good start to your December. And we are 12 days away from Christmas, also, on top of things. I think the game you're listening to is the Rams and the Cardinals. I think that was halftime, 13-13, I think. So that's the one you're watching, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Ain't the same without Peyton and Eli.
they're supposed to return in week 17. That's what I was told.
Oh, okay.
So, with that being said, how was your since we've been off for 2 weeks? Like I said, I've been moving some stuff out of storage, but other than that, nothing. Just peak season work, moving. That's it.
Yeah, been a lot of work. I've been doing a lot of traveling. Just went to Vegas and going to turn around and go to Atlanta tomorrow. So,
Wow.
yep. I'll be dealing with Team Dion.
Ah, so you're gonna be with Deion Sanders, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna be dealing with Team Dion this weekend.
Jackson State.
Yeah,
They
that's
had a great season. I think they were 11-1.
now. If I am not mistaken, since the last time we talked, you had a head coach leave and you got hired one. That's how
Correct.
long we've been gone. And
Correct.
literally, I think it was like the day after the show,
Correct.
Lincoln Riley announced he was going. And I thought about you. I said, "Oh Lord!" I said, "Clem is probably losing his mind. Oklahoma, I ain't gonna leave."
Dude, I was losing my mind until we got a coach that we used to have as a former defensive coordinator. As soon as we got him, I've been, I've been on this, as you know, I've been on it since, since Turncoat left to go to USC. So I don't
Oh,
want to
he's
say his
turncoat
name.
now. Oh,
Yes,
well, that's what we're doing now.
yes. Kevin Durant was public enemy number one. He got replaced. He got replaced by this
Oh,
guy. Yeah. Let's put it that
wow.
way. He got replaced by this guy because this guy, I'm not gonna mention his name, but this guy was talking to USC since September. So basically, you threw the whole season, my guy. You threw the whole season. You've been talking to them since September when they fired their coach. Nah, man. Lost all respect for you, player.
Oh, Clem, don't be like that.
I'm going
Don't
to
be
be like that. I
like
lost all respect for him for that. Not to mention, he took all his coaching staff. Players are transferring in and out of the dang school. So, and we lost 4 players to the NFL. So, yes, man. But it's all right, man. We're fine. We got a good coach. He's starting to rebuild the recruiting staff. So, he's got his coaching staff. He's starting to put that together. We got to recruit. So, hey, things are going to be okay. I'm not too worried about him.
that.
Best of luck to
Yeah.
him in USC, but whatever.
Dog, Clem, I didn't expect such vitriol.
Dude, I wouldn't be mad if you had just came out up front and said you wanted to leave. You should have just came up front and said, quote unquote, it's the way you left. That's why everybody's mad. It's the way he left.
Well, compared to the way he did the Notre Dame coach,
The Notre Dame coach is just as bad as him.
I did Notre Dame coach. It was a worse league the way he left.
100%. The way, come on, man.
At least your coach told the kids and was able to tell them before, and not social media. So at least I give that the bonus points, cookie points.
Nah, man. Yeah, Notre Dame's coach is not any better, like you said. I will agree with you there.
Now,
Definitely not any better.
now, as a fan of the team that he ended up going to, I'm not thrilled that he's the coach. There's nothing by you. It almost reeks of the Nick Saban hire. You know,
Mm.
I wasn't the thrillist about it, but
Uh-huh.
Kelly, I don't care for him, and so it's like now it's like, oh, we got so
I see what you're saying.
it's
So you're not a fan of Brian
I'm
Kelly. Neither am
oh
I.
God, no.
Nah, he's not. I'm not a fan of him, man.
The way he
He
left
all right.
Cincinnati to go to Notre Dame, and the way he left Notre Dame to go to LSU, who's
Yeah,
not to say if now? Granted, he's hitting 60, so I mean, I don't know how much more longer he wants to do this. I can see him being at LSU. He's not gonna make a decade. I know he signed a 10 year. I don't see it. I'll be shocked if he makes it past 6 years. I'll give him 6 years. I'll give him six.
I
I
agree with you. I'll say
I can't see it
six
past
too, but
six.
He should have just stayed in
because it's like,
Notre Dame. He had to go over there. I don't know what money,
well,
money.
it ain't even just the money. No, no. Now the money don't hurt. Now
No, no,
I
no, no.
ain't gonna lie
I'm
to
not
you
saying the
about
money
that.
got hurt. I guess he wanted a different challenge. I guess he was tired of being independent.
Well,
I guess. I
well,
thought about him.
no. I think part of it was him understanding the path. He's at a point now. He's trying to win a national championship.
Yep.
When you had the 1 year where you had to play for a conference championship and you got to play Clemson, you realize that's my best path to getting in this thing. Trying to do this thing where we stay on the outside and you hope you get in. You see what I'm saying? That's old, Doc. You got to do the conference thing. I know Notre Dame, they got the TV deal. I get all that. But you can't be mad. It's like you had your shot, you understood what it was like to be a conference champion, you get it. But it doesn't help when you still get there and you get blown out. What's the point of showing up if you're gonna get blown out? And I know for a guy like Brian Kelly, 3 times you got in, 3 times you got blown out.
Yep.
I mean, it wasn't even close. And so that tells you I need to do something different. Now, academics and all that, you still dealing with that. But my understanding from my sources that was there was saying that he and the AD butted heads on some of the facility upgrades and stuff like that. He thought he needed to continue to compete. So
Interesting.
I yes,
Interesting.
yes, I get it.
So he
I
and
get it.
AD were
So
not working out, I guess.
yeah, so that's what when Swarbrick said, I wasn't surprised. Yeah, and you already knew that. It's like there was, but then again, can you blame him when you see what Alabama got? You see what Clemson got, and especially I knew the day for Brian Kelly was when they went to Clemson, and you walk on their facilities and knowing we ain't got none of this in South Bend.
Mm.
That's gonna be ugly, Doc. That's
Yeah.
Look up their athletic football facility on you. Doc, I'm telling you, it's amazing. When you have a wiffle ball field on your complex,
Yeah. You're big time. You are super big time.
wiffle ball, not softball, not baseball, wiffle ball. I can't mess with you.
Wow.
I can't mess with. I can't. This is these things are not the same. For your coaches, you got a putting green and stuff out there. They can chip and putt and all that. These things aren't. These things are not the same. Doc. Now, there's some things like climate and weather you can't fight. You go down there to Miami with crystal ball, leave Oregon to go. There's certain things you're not going to be able to fight. You can't fight that. You can't fight it.
Mm.
The geography you can't fight. But facilities, either you build it, you have it, you don't. When you got Northwestern just built an indoor practice facility, Northwestern, not no
Yep.
bubble thing, a full fledged practice facility. See,
Wow.
Notre Dame got the little bubble thing. Nah.
No, 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 no.
Full fledged 2-story. You can hang it up, Doc. You can't keep up with that. Northwestern curtains,
Wow.
curtains,
Wow.
Doc. Curtains. I got
And the
friends in
West is
them
like
cities.
it's a lower Big Ten school too. I'm not trying to say they're like the bottom, but they're not like mid level.
Right. Yeah. Curtains, not curtains. So Notre Dame, you can only trade off the name for so long. You can only
Correct.
trade it. You only trade it. Now Kelly has done a good job of what he had, but you can only trade off of that for so long. And let's
Right?
be honest, Notre Dame, even though there's right out on the cusp and 10-1, 11-1, or 12-1, whatever there was, even their opponents was kind of a down year. So that doesn't
Yep.
help you with Notre Dame. Let's say, for sake of argument, they did beat Cincinnati. Let's just say, for sake of argument, did beat Cincinnati and the roles were reversed. I still don't think Notre Dame gets in
I don't either.
because they would have looked at the body of work of everyone else and said Cincinnati's their best win. Whatever.
Yep.
Do you see what?
Agree.
So I would have think had Oklahoma State won, Oklahoma State would have got in and beat Baylor. They would have gotten in.
Oklahoma State would have gone in because they beat Baylor twice, not just once, twice.
Right. And they would have gotten in. Who I forgot who they lost to. They only lost one game.
They lost to Iowa State. That was their only
The-
loss.
okay.
Even
But
that
I
was
think
controversial.
right, even that right. That was some that's what I'm saying. I think had Oklahoma State finished the job, they would have got in. They would have got in over Notre Dame.
Yeah.
They would have got in over Notre Dame. I just it's that if you looked at their strength of schedule of everyone they played, Stanford had a down year. Navy had a down year.
Yep.
You know, everybody had a down. Everybody had a down year, man. It's
Yep.
like
Virginia Tech, North Carolina, all had a
everybody had
down
a
year.
down. All of them had a down year. So it's like for all my Notre Dame, I'm like, if you reverse the roles, the only way Notre Dame would have got in, they would have had to get backdoored in, which would have been yeah, they would have had to get backdoored in, which would have been the only way you got in because Oklahoma State couldn't finish the job.
Yep.
And you would have needed Alabama to beat Georgia.
Which happened.
Right. No, and you would need Georgia to beat Alabama. I think if Georgia had beaten Alabama, then they in.
Yeah, they would
Then
have been
Notre Dame
in.
is in. You would have had to put them in. But
Yep. But Georgia didn't get the job done, and Alabama beat them.
poor Georgia. Oh, Georgia.
And I was telling people, Georgia, if you're going to beat Alabama,
Georgia.
you better beat them this year because if you don't beat them, I don't know when y'all going to beat them.
Georgia. Oh
Their
my Georgia.
quarterback was not good. That Bennett guy, good player, but not dynamic when it comes to the running quarterback position, especially when you got Bryce Young on the other side for Alabama. That boy was torching them.
Georgia. Poor Georgia. Now I'm gonna keep it real. Alabama had no business beating Auburn. They was Alabama strikes me as now. Granted, a lot of it you're still talking about the 18 to 22-year-olds. I think Alabama is doing ironically the Deion Sanders thing. I think they're only playing to the level of the competition.
Yep,
When they know it's money time, they're coming out to perform. When they know, it's somebody, we kind of, and the other
exactly.
team is more motivated. Texas A&M was more motivated, beat them. Auburn was more motivated, not as quite as talented as Texas A&M, but they was
Yep,
motivated,
yep.
and they beat them. And they kind of
Arkansas almost beat them too.
Arkansas, highly motivated.
Highly.
Highly motivated, almost
I
beat
saw
them.
that game. That
But
was a fantastic
it's like
game.
if you have to, their motivation has to match their talent level. If they're just as good as Alabama and as motivated, more motivated, then that's how you're gonna beat Alabama. So
Yep.
that being said, Alabama's gonna have to play Cincinnati. Do not be surprised if Cincinnati beat them.
I
That
won't
would
be.
that would completely throw everybody off if Cincinnati was to beat Alabama.
Dude, I would not
Because
be surprised Cincinnati
Alabama
play.
is not going to come, or better yet, let's say Alabama struggles for at least a half, maybe 3 quarters, and then Alabama turns it on in the fourth quarter. Because Alabama strikes me that team, they play to the level, they go, okay, well, it says that. I guarantee you, they mess around and play Georgia again. Now Georgia got to get played Michigan, which Michigan is not going to be easy out.
No.
If Georgia gets past Michigan, and Georgia plays Alabama again the second crack around. Now, part of me would say, if you could not beat Alabama in Atlanta, in your own state,
How you gonna beat
yes,
them in
it's not Athens.
Indianapolis?
It's not in Athens. You tell me you're going to convince me you're going to go to Indianapolis and beat them there. Now, that being said, remember, I think Georgia's just as talented as Alabama, especially on the
Yep.
defense. They're just as talented. But now you talk about more motive. They get a second crack at it. Best believe you. If all I would do if I'm Kirby Smart, if you get past Michigan, I only got one thing to say in post game. I'm going up to the chalkboard. I write whatever the final score was versus Alabama, and that's it.
41-24.
Ain't nothing else left to say. That's what's next.
That's it.
It's nothing else.
Like you
There's
said,
nothing else left
write
to
the
say.
final score 41-24. Done. Underline it 3
Done.
times.
Walk
Done.
off.
Walk off.
Walk off. There's nothing else left to say. The men know what's next. Rest up. You got 10 days.
Yep.
No West Pass.
Yep.
41-24.
That's it.
The only thing I would not want, if it's going to be Alabama or Georgia, the only thing I don't want to hear is, God forbid, knock on wood, Bryce Young gets hurt against Cincinnati or what have you, and then Alabama still wins the game, but then they play Georgia, or God forbid, Alabama loses Cincinnati, and then the Alabama fans, oh, we had already beat Georgia, but we beat them in the head-to-head, and at the end of the day, came playoff time, you got to be ready to play ball, and you wasn't ready. You lost. Good
Mm-hmm.
day, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I can't
Exactly.
call it. Can't call it.
I can't either.
But anyway, we done been on here. We done talked the 60 minutes. We ain't even talk no catfight news. Yeah. So I
Well,
know that some of our friends across the pond, they're gonna be like, Blake. They'll be like,
uh,
well, y'all get to the catfight news.
no,
Like, what the
no
fuck?
disrespect to Blake, but when it comes to the Cat news across the pond, there's really nothing going on over there.
Well, I mean, they like to tune in, so
Yeah, but when it
they
comes
hope
to
to hear.
America, your guy Sweet Fights is at it again.
Yeah,
My guy has been busy this month. He actually
yeah.
had at one point he had 3 cat fights announced, but one of them got canceled today. So
One got canceled today. Which one?
it was 2 new girls. One of them was 2 new girls in the cat fight scene. I think it was Aubrey. I forgot her last name. It was Aubrey. Oh Lord, someone's gonna freak. I get some Aubrey versus Viviana. Two
Oh,
new
okay.
people. That was supposed to happen. The fight was supposed to be released on the 25th on Christmas around noon Central Time, which is 1 o'clock your time. Was keyword was, but that fight got canceled because one of them had to cancel due to contractual obligation. I don't know. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
I so that one got canceled for now. He is looking for a replacement. It was Aubrey Black. I'm sorry, my memory came back. It was Aubrey. It was supposed to be Aubrey Black versus Vivian Fox. That's what it should have been.
Okay.
But he is right now. So people who are sponsors, myself included, he suspended the sponsorship, which is on Gumroad. So people,
Oh,
that's Gumroad.com/, sweet fights if you're interested in that. I think that started out like $40. At least it started out 40, but that's another story. I'm still interested. I just, I trust the man. I'm sure he'll find a replacement. I'm sure that fight will go through because he has
mm,
like 11 days. So he has 11 days before it gets released because today's already over, just about. His
mm.
next fight is another fight that we've been talking about for a long time. I mean, the fans. It's going to happen. The 2 fights he has is going to happen in February next year, February 2022, which is Alexa Brooke versus Vika. For people who don't know who Vika Model is, she had a fight with Carmilla, who was also a Sweet Fights. It's on his library.
But did Vika fight for Sweet Fights?
Yep, in
Okay.
October, 2 months ago,
Okay.
October.
Who
That's the
did
one.
Vika fight?
Some lady named Carmilla, Carmilla.
Okay.
There were 2 new people at the time.
And I think I remember hearing the chatter afterwards. There was some folks that were saying Vika should fight Alexa Brooke. I remember that
Yep,
chatter being out there.
yep.
Okay.
And it took a while for this fight to happen because Alexa Brooke was supposed to fight an Asian lady named Alexis, and these two have been going back and forth on Twitter for months on end. Alexis is demanding stuff, trying to say, I want to do this and I want this payment, all that stuff. Alexis, we have news for you. You're a rookie. You don't run anything. These producers run it, not you. She had like a fanboy that wanted it to happen. And she's trying to do orders and all that stuff. Alexis, newsflash, it don't work like that. You have to work with producers, right? You just can't produce your own fight unless you want to be a producer yourself. That's all I have to say about that. So that fight never happened. At one point, Tilly said she wanted to do it, but wasn't it was given obligations and all this other stuff, and she just let it go. So that's not happening.
Carrying on.
Okay, and the last fight is another lady named Emma. If anybody watches Twitter, her name is Emma Ray. For people who don't know, she used to fight for Fresh Fight Gary's production at one point in time.
Under the name of Angelina Knight at the time,
Correct. Anyways, she's gonna have her first cat fight against Angel For people who don't know Angel, Angel has fought for sweet fights, I think 3 different times. She fought Sarah Brooke for sweet fights one time and got slapped. I don't want to say too much. She broke in another new girl uh, this past year. I forgot who it was. So this young lady has fought for him like 2 or 3 times. So that's
Mhm.
that. And then for people who weren't here the last time we were here, I'm reverse. I'm going to recap the last one because that's it for the catfight news. I'm just re-adding. That's only like I'm bringing back the lyric length thing and all that.
Didn't
But
Mexican catfights have something
yes,
in the
oh yeah.
works?
That thank you for reminding me. So Mexican catfights actually did some kind of like a trial fight. I won't say it was a fight. They had a sparring fight with Santana and a new girl, and then they actually had a real cat fight. So if you want to have a real cat fight, check out his Gumroad page. I talk about Rodolfo. I think it was Santana versus a girl named Miranda, the same Miranda that fought Valentina Sachs.
Okay. Okay.
It's a little different because they'll actually fight in everyday clothing. I know some of you people were not happy that they're not finding no lingerie or topless or all that stuff. For people who don't know, Rodolfo never hasn't done that part yet because I don't think they're comfortable with that. I talk about the girls I'm referring to. So they actually did an everyday fight wear thing. So if you want that video, gotta check that website.
If we can take a pin on that, right? And when you say everyday clothing, are you meaning like was it sportswear, streetwear, was it jeans and
Yes,
t-shirt,
one of
or
them
we
was wearing
talking
jeans and
all place office attire?
there was no office attire. So one of them was wearing jeans, the other one was wearing like how do I describe it? I saw that I didn't buy this video. I just saw the trailer of it, so I can't say too much on looking on the trailer is not much, but yeah, when I say every day, we're talking about jeans, tank top pants, regular stuff.
Okay.
No office attire, none of that.
Okay. So they're like they could have been just shopping and then they decided to get into it. They could have like
Yeah,
two
I think
ladies shopping at
yeah,
Walmart and decide, well, okay, we're just gonna go
yeah.
ahead.
Rodolfo just tried to do something different because he's trying something different.
Well,
What he did.
which is fine. To be honest, that's more realistic than anything else. I mean, let's be honest. How realistic is you have women running around in lingerie and okay, we're gonna get into a fight. Now, if you're gonna happen to see one on the street, they're gonna be wearing. I get it. I'm more person, and I'm saying this as a lingerie guy. I'm more of a fan of lingerie because of a lot of the historical context, and it was and the whole sexuality slash feralness slash
Yep.
womanish. There's a whole. I mean, I can ramble on for about 10 minutes about the whys of lingerie, but I get it. Hey, to have something different is different. If it's your cup of tea, fine. If it's not, then fine. I would say don't bash a man for it.
I
let the dollars. If the people support, they support it. They don't. They're like, all right, then. But I commend him for putting something different out there. Than just something. Why not? There's more chances if you see a fight break out in real life, a women probably more dressed like that than anything else that's been out in the last year. Short of you going to the beach and two people just go squaring off in bikinis.
Yes, fans, we did warn you that the catfight industry was going to slow down, and it's pretty much has slowed down since October. Let's be serious. No surprises there because peak season and holiday season right now is also part of it, along with COVID. Again,
Do you think a lot of the flare-ups with a lot of the COVID cases had, as in this Thanksgiving, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's trend has been spiking with various reports? You think that has anything to do with it?
yes, man, because now they're talking about another new virus called Micron. I don't know what it's called. MIC. I think it's Micron. I heard that one. That's the latest
I
one I heard.
know, I know about Omicron.
Yeah, that's what I'm
OM.
trying to say. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
And
Omicron.
why does Omicron sounds like a Decepticon? Wasn't that a Decepticon or something?
Yes, I thought so.
Oh, I'm like, we naming viruses after Decepticons now? Is that what we
Yes,
do? Is we running out of
yes.
names?
You know what I meant. Omicron. Yes. And I heard that it was hitting some states in America already. I think last time I heard it was something about it hit 15 states already, which
I
is
I know the actor John Cleese made an interesting post talking about viruses and mutation. He was just talking about from his doctors that viruses once they mutate, they become more contagious,
uh-huh.
but they don't. They're supposed to be more contagious, but it's supposed to be not less potent.
Ah,
So reading, I mean, that's like just virology 101. So read into that as you will, because that does explain a couple of cases where you see like a LeBron James or somebody that come across and say, hey, supposedly positive and then not positive and and stuff like that. Or you see people that's positive and they feel like, look, my symptoms is fine, it's mild compared. Not saying that they still have it. It just and now does it my question had always been about this COVID thing from the get-go. Does it become the common cold had to come from somewhere. The common
mm,
cold came somewhere. I always wondered, does this now become the new common cold? And what I mean by that is it gets to the point where after so many mutations, it gets to be just like a cold. Cold was pretty sicky and yucky and ucky, and you pretty much,
yeah,
and it was just contagious, and just like a
yep,
lot of other stuff. But does it mutate to the point where it no longer kills you, but it gets to the point where it pretty much makes you miserable for 3, 5 to 7 days or whatever?
yep. So yeah, when it comes to like I said, when it comes to the catfight news, of course I've been trying to text, DM people on Twitter, see what's going on. The same runaround stories. I talk about these our fighters. Some of them
Mhm.
with Jaya and a little rampage. That might happen, but I don't know what is right. It might happen. I'm not sure. It might
I
happen.
I remember this time last year, there was like 2 or 3 fights that was happening like right there on New Year's.
Yep.
Like this year, not much.
Not
You know.
much.
And that was really, to be honest, it was more COVID prohibitive, if you ask me, last year. This time
Correct.
last year than it was this year.
I agree.
So in a way, I was hoping for more, but it just,
I'm not really surprised.
and especially with New Year's being on the
Yeah.
weekend, I was thinking,
Yeah.
I said, well,
True.
maybe something. But who knows? We may end up with something like what happened with Lyric and Alexa Brooke, where it
Yep.
be literally a last minute thing, post be made, and whoever
Yep.
sponsors jump in, and then
You
that's
seen?
how
Have
it
you
ended
seen
up
that match
being.
yet? Have you seen that match yet?
Yes, yes,
You
I have seen
are
the
you comfortable
match.
enough to talk about it now? Because I think everybody's had enough time now.
I am. We can talk about it. I mean,
All right, my
yeah,
opinion. My opinion. When I saw the thing, I have to admit, lyric. I love you, lyric, but you was getting dominated. I hate to tell you this. At one point, I'm not saying she was going to get lose, but at the beginning, Alexa had an upper hand for a while. I'm not going to say she's going to lose because we'll never know. You know what I mean?
right.
Because because her having a re-aggravation of an old injury, if you know what I mean. So we don't know. But at some point in the match, Alexa was taking it to her, at least at the beginning, from what I can tell.
Yeah, I
But let me make it clear. I feel like Lyric was eventually going to turn around and probably beat her, but she would have to work hard for it because she didn't do well with the Alexa's face slapping very well from what I can see. She did not do very well in that category. All
yeah,
right, go ahead.
I I would say the pace surprised me, given all the
Mm,
build-up leading to it. That I
mm,
mean, I expected it to be different. I agree with you. I think Lyric is too skilled of a fighter
mm.
to not find a way to adapt and adjust.
Yep,
But then again, on that day, you got to be ready. Did we not see that this past weekend with Juliana Pena?
yep,
651 odds to Nunez.
yep. She was ready, right? She was
Look,
ready
on that
and
day,
won.
that's the number one thing I love about combative sports
Yep.
and competitive.
Hmm.
On that day, are
Yep.
you ready to go?
Yep.
On that day, nobody cares what it's going to be like tomorrow, and nobody cares what it's going to be like yesterday. On that day, the day of competition, the day you step in that ring,
Are you
are
ready?
you ready on that day? Can you answer the bell on
Yep.
that day? And on that day,
Amanda
Alexa,
got beat. Simple. She
yeah,
got
yeah,
beat.
Amanda got beat. But in the case of Alexa and Lyric, it was just one of those things. Now, I think if they fought a trilogy fight of 5 times, I think I would give Alexa maybe 1.5 because Alexa is
Actually, if they fought 5 times, I'll give Alexa one because I think
right.
Lyric is
That's what
too
I'm saying. I'll
skilled
give
for
it one,
her
and I think
eventually.
that one was that day.
And that one was, yeah, the one she got was that day. It's
That
unfortunate that we never
I
got to see
think
the
it's
end of it.
the end of it. Right. I think had they finished it,
We don't know.
we
Like I
don't
said,
know. We
that's
don't
why I
know.
said we don't know. But from what I
Yeah.
could see, she was dominating for at least the 5 minutes that I saw. The
Now,
beginning was back and forth, testing each other. At least in the beginning was when it
now
went to the
let me
ground is
ask
when she started.
let me ask you this. Let's most important. Do you want to see a finish?
Yes, I did. I did wanted to see. I seriously, I wanted to see what it would have looked like. It's unfortunate that you know.
To be honest, me personally, I don't want to see a finish.
Hmm,
I don't because the time and the opportunity is gone. Because again, they, they go back to finish. First of all, they go back to finish it. They're not fighting 10 minutes. They're going to do a whole 20-minute round.
yeah, true.
So it's kind of like the first one more or less was a warm up, and it's like now it's not that Lyric underestimated her or whatever. I think Lyric would make sure she's more ready because
Clearly,
or the injury may have hurt a little bit more than what was let on. It was like a thing of you get the adrenaline flowing, yeah, 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 and you think you answer the bell, your body said, Your mind might have said yeah, but your body was like, We not 10 minutes in, your body's like, we gonna shut this down right now. Um,
the question I have for you is both of them were out of shape too. That was interesting. That they both said, or Lyric said that both of them have not been in the gym for a year. I would like to see what had happened different. What have been different now, considering they were in shape now. But like you said, we'll never see it because
right, because I think both respect the other. It's one of those. Oh God, it's one of those things because neither one had really did it. Like you said, being in the gym or whatever and train like you normally would have, and
mm-mm.
then to jump right in,
Yeah, they jumped right in. This was
it
like last
wasn't.
minute.
I ain't gonna lie to you, it wasn't a great matchup.
No, it wasn't. I
It wasn't
agree.
a great. This could have been the flip. Remember, one of the things I've always held dear and true when we found out Sexy Wife was there at the same time as uh,
Lyric.
Lyric in South Carolina,
It should happen
and
then.
they did not use that opportunity to fight right then and there. You had time and space and opportunity. You could have did it right then and there, and you didn't. I thought that was a missed opportunity. But this match we just witnessed, we're talking about, is an example of what could have happened when you got two people. Because this is not like catfighting. Is not like you just jump start a car and then you just jump in the car and drive off. No, you got to break it in. It's like this. No, seriously, that could have something that we've been waiting for, and we would have got it as a surprise on last minute. Yeah, it would have been nice. And granted, both of them had just came off of fighting the fight each, so it wasn't like they was that far off. But for something like this, it was kind of like a thing of, yeah, it's great, but it left me. It's like you go to a restaurant that you heard great things about, and you go and you had a blase meal.
Mm,
You went to a Wolfgang Puck restaurant and you got a blase meal. You know, it could have been better had case in point not come in 20 minutes before close. You know,
got
maybe
you.
if you came in when it opened or came in during the normal dinner hour, or even came in happy hour. You came in an hour before close. Now, still is Wolfgang Puck restaurant. And he still got a name on it, so it is still going to be a quality. But you have to know in your mind, you getting whatever's left, and it's
Mm,
just now they're gonna try to give you everything they got, but it's just not
I agree with
optimal.
you. I agree
So
with you. I agree with you. This fight wasn't, it was good, but it wasn't, great,
it
like you
wasn't great,
said.
and so that's why I say I think I can see where both will want to come back, not only to prove themselves, to other cement or whatever, or to be a better performance. I think even them and of themselves, I think this would be a thing of I have to respect the craft of catfighting enough to say if we're going to do this, we need to do it right where we have a proper training camp and all of this. Then just we're not young enough to just jump in this. Like maybe if they're in the 20, like early 20s, okay,
Yes,
you got enough energy, you can just wake up and fight 2, 3 fights in one
like you
weekend.
said, one's 40 something, the other one's like 30, 30 something. So yeah, they're
And
not like young kids. They're not like young, vibrant, exuberant, energetic types at
right,
this
where
time.
where they just gonna be able. That is a lot to ask. I mean,
Mm,
and, and for me, I just wanted to ask this question, even though it's the reason why they fought new because they didn't have anything to
mm.
wear to fight. So it's like, you know what?
Actually,
The last minute, let's just
one
change.
of them, not all of them, one of them didn't have anything to fight. One of them wasn't even ready to fight. That's what Adam said. You can guess which one it is. It's not
You said
Alexa.
you said one of them didn't have anything to fight in.
Correct. It's not Alexa. So there's only one answer.
Okay, well,
And
I
the
mean,
thing
I'm
is,
just,
yeah, she was
I mean,
actually they were there. Sorry, my bad. They were there to support the other couples that were at the event by
right,
this private
right,
sponsor.
right. And I get it. So I just now, granted, there's been a time or two. I kid you not, for a match or two, where we had something happen last minute. I done ran down to Walmart or something, go get a set. But I will say this: that was pre-COVID, and I tried to do that once during COVID, and that was hellish. That was ridiculous because now, not only will they not carry, especially if you got a specialty size, not only do they not carry your stuff now and like Walmart or Target or whatever, you only getting three colors: black, white, and like maybe this new tan. That's it. You ain't getting no colors. You ain't getting no fancy style frilly like. You ain't getting nothing.
Mm-mm.
So you might as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's see let's see. Your girl Reagan. I heard she's having a new podcast. Your girl's having a podcast.
Oh really? That's nice.
She saw
Now,
it's on her
is
Twitter
it,
page. When you get a chance, look it up. I think I saw it on
okay.
her Twitter page. I think
Now,
Anchor. Is it Anchor.com?
Anchor FM.
Something like that. I think she's asking people what they want her to talk about. I've thought about it. I just left that alone.
Now, let me ask you this: because we know Reagan does so much stuff other than where the lines don't intersect. Like you have some girls that will call in and ask about advice about modeling and stuff like that, how to get booked and all that, and they don't care one lick about catfight. And then you got the fanboys or we always got the idiots, the village idiots, where they'll go ripping and run amok and then want to ask about what's your favorite submission hold to put on. You like fighting naked, So it's like I don't know what this podcast is about. I may listen just to support.
Me too. I
Now
don't know
let
what it
me
is
ask you
either.
this: is this a live podcast where they will allow for guest interaction, or is one of them things they just record and then when they post it, you just sit there and you watch it
That's
or listen or
that's a good
whatever?
question. I don't think I got that far. I saw the little headline. I didn't get that far to ask, but that's a good question. I probably should ask her on that because I'm like you. I'm curious because Reagan is a fan favorite
No,
of
and a
this
friend of
show
the show.
and definitely a friend of the show. So is Tilly. Shout out to Tilly, fan favorite. I know you've been busy doing a lot of customs because I've been seeing a lot of stuff on Twitter. Talk about another person who's a busy lady.
Oh yeah.
And oh yeah, by the friend, Lady Oyanka, I gotta give you a shout out. Another friend of the show. Yeah, she's been doing a lot of things. She said lately that there's gonna be a cat fight next year. That's what she's producing one. I don't know the details of it yet. We all don't know the details of it yet, but it's like little by little. At the every part of the month, there's always something, some kind of hint. So stay tuned on that. She looked like she said she's going to produce a catfight that has never been seen in catfighting. So that's intriguing. We'll see. Right, it is Lady O, so who knows with her mind. Any thoughts? Oh, Frozen.
No, 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 no. I wasn't frozen.
Oh, okay. Okay, so what else? What else can I talk about here? So we'll see, man. Right, like I said, people stay tuned. I was trying to do a poll on what kind of catfights people want to see for next year, but it doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't really matter.
It just be blowing hot air, hot smoke.
That's what I'm doing. So what's going on your end? I know. Besides, we know you've been working like a crazy man for your television production.
Yeah,
Anything
it's just
on
been
your
just work.
production?
Nah, this is just more work, 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 work. We've been balls to the wall. We, like I said, we got to deal with the game Saturday, and we just balls to the wall. So,
How's your girl Emesis doing? Of any
um,
sort?
she, yeah. So
Is she losing interest now?
no, I wouldn't say that. No, but it's been a little sad. But no, I wouldn't say no, not at all. I wouldn't say that.
You still doing your Memphis thing still, or is it or that in the back burner?
The Memphis thing is definitely going to be on the back burner because the talent that we had there. They all just scattered about with different things, and the one thing about Memphis has always been it's been an extremely big walk. Like I had one talent that was like, well, they couldn't fight, but they was going to support because they got other stuff in their life, basically life, so which is fine. And but it's like, how you gonna help when you didn't bring anything to the table? So um, yeah, so it's just kind of a thing of Memphis has always been a big walk up town kind of thing, and what I mean by that is they will literally wait till you show up, you lay everything out. Oh, okay, now we with. But that's always been kind of the thing with Memphis, and it's just been it's a Memphis thing. Like any promoter, I don't care what it is. Memphis is one of those towns, man, where it's like you don't know what numbers you're gonna get till you show up. I mean, I cannot think. Even Timberlake was struggling. I can't think of an artist that can come through Memphis and they know and the people know it's going to sell out. I can't think of a single. I can't think of a single artist, even 3 6 Mafia, because you got so many folks that don't care. Okay, whatever. Because they're gonna gripe at the cost. They're gonna be like, "Why am I paying to go see these dudes?" Yeah,
That's
it's
because they're
just
from your hometown, people. They're from your hometown.
so. Yeah, so I literally, I'm struggling to think who could come through Memphis, charge something, any amount. It don't matter what it is,
Mm,
and they know they're going to sell out without a doubt. I cannot think of a single artist walking the face of the earth right now, short of
wow.
Elvis raising from the dead, that can walk into Memphis knowing we're going to sell out. I don't care what the venue is, going in and what the price point is, going in knowing they can sell it, they'll sell it out.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
just
Elvis is probably the only one that could probably sell out Memphis because of his cachet and all that, possibly.
yes, and you know what the sad thing is? I think even for somebody as great as Elvis, most of them would have been folks from out of town.
Yep, yep, yep.
But that's just Memphis for you, though. That's Memphis.
What's the situation with all the other? You have two other girls you said you were trying to make happen. What is the situation with
Oh
those?
God, is in the wind. God knows. I may wake up tomorrow and they be ready to do it. I do, and God knows. It's scheduling. That's what it is. This is it's kind of weird because you know. like when you work in the service industry, which both of these ladies do,
Yep.
it's like you know you're going to have time off, you just don't know when. And because of the ebbs and flows with this being kind of like case in point, you remember I do this one not too long ago. This was only 2 to 3 years ago.
Mm,
By now, every we're talking about what is this, the 13th, 14th of December?
13th
By
right now
now, by now, we're 2 weeks out from
from
we're
Christmas.
inside 2 weeks out from Christmas. You know that every shopping mall was not closing before 10, if
Yep.
not midnight. They wasn't closing before 10, if not midnight. By now, now it's like well we know we're gonna we're just trying to play it and see it. So it's not that they won't be off. They just right now don't know what their schedule is going to be, and it's one of those things where and their service. I mean, because they have a life outside of the fight level, and they
True.
do. So it's just a matter of if we get it, we get it, we get it, and we don't, we don't. So
Last question. What's the deal with Daisy Cardona? What's the deal with her? Just last question.
reached out to her when I went out there to Vegas. I didn't hear anything back, so I just
Looks like to me she's not serious,
well, I'm
or she's just
who knows?
busy,
Or
or she's
she
just
could be
busy.
just busy. She could be just busy. So I don't know. So I didn't hear anything back.
So I'm going to ask a broad. I asked everybody knows I asked this question before. I've asked a lot of people. I've asked producers. I've asked you before. You already know what I'm going to say. Anything you want to change in the industry, the catfighting industry? I mean, just this is a broad, basic. This is like a broad, very broad question. Very
Right.
broad. There's no right or wrong answer with this. It's just very broad.
What I want to change anything.
Yeah, would you want to change anything, or are you happy with it? It is what it is right
Of
now.
course not. I mean, no.
I'm not either.
Um, I'm not. But I think part of the changes I will want to see is stuff that the market. The thing is being keen enough to know when the market changes and how to adjust to change with it.
Mm.
You know, you can't do the same thing and you get the same thing and then you expect the same results. So I would say, what would I really want to change? Um,
I think I have something. I would like to see the new girls who are coming into this thing be trained properly. If you know what I mean. I mean, when I say properly, I mean give them the tools necessary, right? Before they get into a fight. I don't, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to say I don't want them to just do this fight on last minute call or something. There needs to be a build up. Like, okay, we have this fight in 2 weeks, so if you want to work on some stuff or all that stuff, show them what they're getting to. I feel that's important to a point.
um,
To a point.
I think some stuff is just going to be in ebbs and flows.
Mm.
It just as it is. It's just with any business. I would say because even it doesn't matter how much money you throw at something.
Mm.
It doesn't mean, like you said, you get people's participation. I think the key is to find those that would love to do it. I mean, the money you get paid is bonus, but I think
Correct.
those who really love to do it to do it and to serve the fans, and I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
You're always going to have people because we've seen this in the fight game from time and time and time again. Even in pre-fight interviews, like you can almost spot it out. The girl who is there just because the money's good for it, versus the girl who's in it who likes to do it, and she's getting paid. And
Alexa
and
Brooke
and
is
it,
that example.
it always comes through. It always comes through, and that person come and just it just comes through. And yeah, so I'm yeah, it just comes through. I'm trying to think, what would I change? If the one thing I really wish I could change, actually, I think the biggest inhibitor, and this is not just me, I think it's with
Producer.
any producer, is going to be the cost of travel.
Yep.
Not the cost of actually doing the thing. It's the cost of travel because it's the one thing, regardless if you're traveling, they're traveling, whoever's traveling, it don't matter. It does not discriminate regardless. It's
Hmm.
the cost of travel. It's one of those things you can't really, like, for
Pinpoint.
example, we've talked about how, like, if you're in a bigger city or bigger metropolitan area like New York, um, Orlando, Dallas,
L.A.,
Chicago. Not
Chicago,
only with
L.A.
LA, and not only is it maybe easier to find talent, but it's easier to schedule and get stuff done. Or if you have national talent flying in and out and they're sessioning, whatever, it's a lot easier to build a network that way. But if you got girls from like Eau Claire, Wisconsin, or Paducah, Kentucky, it's like I don't even know where on the map you at to try to find the city.
Hamilton,
And these
Ohio.
or
Just throwing
these
out names.
yes. And these could be talent that really would like to, or they're borderline. It's just a matter of just trying to find, and then you still got to deal with all the other factors of finding someone close in size, close in skill, um, and all of that. And then not to mention, yeah. So and some of that I had to kind of get out of my head, out of my way, because if
Mm.
you look at pro boxing, you look at it's not like these folks live in the same city either.
No, no, they do not.
They were so. What makes me think catfighting was going to be any different? So it was kind of like you know. So it's like you're talking about something that's even more underground. Like you got it's okay. I think I know my answer now. What I would say is, if I could change anything, I wish catfighting was more normalized by the society. And
I
what I
agree.
mean by that is that I believe there is a segment of women, some who have said this to me privately, and some who I know the reason why they haven't done it, or they haven't done it more than once, or haven't continued to do it, is because of the stigma that it would affect. That, like, I wish it was a thing to where, okay, this is something I like to do. This does not define who I am.
Right.
Yeah, because now this is the one thing, because I think that would be such a breakthrough. Because now going back to that example I made about boxing and MMA, and you got these people fighting from all over the world. Like there are people all over the world that be like, oh, like for example, you got a young lady like a Juliana Pena or Nunez, or even somebody that's 18 years old straight out of high school, and she said, "Look, I want to be an MMA fighter." And she goes down to a local dojo or gym or whatever. She
Yep.
goes in and tells somebody, "Oh, okay." And say if she happens to live in the city that has a UFC gym or performance center, she can go in there and say, "Hey, I want to be an MMA." The fact that so far in that spirit, nobody's going to look at her crazy. Okay, you were now. If well, depending on the weight, but that's a whole nother matter. Because in the women, there's only two or three, only so many weight classes if you're going to be in UFC. Now, if you're going to be in Bellator or some of these other promotions,
A little bit
there's
more.
there's a little bit more flexibility. But but for
UFC
for
is
for,
three, I think.
for right, for sake of argument, let's just say 135. She's 135.
Yep.
But that's the weight you want to fight at 135. We just say that for sake of argument, just sake of the example. And even if you're in certain circles, oh well, I want to be an MMA fighter. Even if you're a woman, you may want to do that, and you may have some backlash or whatever. Or it's like, oh, okay, well, cool. That's what you want to do. You have your right to do that. All right, good. Thumbs up. And nobody thinks nothing twice of it. And they keep going about their day. You go about your day, they go about theirs. But if you say you want to do catfighting, it's kind of like, okay, and like you say, it's this whole what is this thing? Um, is it more fetish? Is it more competitive? Do we have rules? What are we wearing? So you have so many other stuff. I just think that if it was more normalized, just like you have people that just like it's like, for example, you have a movie like 50 Shades of Grey. You have people that love the BDSM saddle matches lifestyle. And even though, oh well, it may not be for my boat, but all right, cool. That's what you like to do, then so be it. You want to deal with butt plugs and all that other stuff, okay?
Yeah, true,
So be
true.
it. But I think that catfighting is one of those things because, and I think this is why we keep coming back to the definition of what is a catfight. How many, like every 2 to 3 months, somebody stirs up a whole big thing about what is a
What is a
catfight.
catfight?
And so I think that's what we keep going because until it become normalized, where whether society or all of us as a whole have come to agreement with catfight, with us as producers, the talent, and the fans have come to agreement of what a catfight is. Like for example, like going back to what we talked about earlier with Mexican catfights, you know, because he had it with girls wearing normal clothes. You got folks that now want to discredit it. Say, "Ah, I ain't a catfight because they're not wearing lingerie." You see what I'm saying? So it kind
Yes,
of, I think if we can become to where it's a twofold part. If it becomes normalized to where if a girl says she wants to do it, she's not, for lack of better term, slut shame.
correct,
Oh well, you want to be a sex worker out of it. Like, what are we doing? It's just this is just something she just enjoys doing. She just enjoys rolling around on the mat, pulling another girl's hair out. Okay, that's what she likes to do. But that doesn't define who she is.
correct,
It's just what you like. A lot of stuff like what you do at your job, but that doesn't define who you are. Like what I do at my
correct.
job, that doesn't define who I am. It's just
Yep,
what I do and what I'm good at doing, and what I'm good at doing enough to where someone's willing to pay me to do render said services. The
exactly.
same thing. Now, whether they want to do it for fun or they want to do it to get paid, some of the more
Up to them.
national talent, they want to do it more as a way to earn a living, then so be it. You know, I'll use a perfect example. Shady Tree mechanics. You got people that's good at working on cars, but they're not a mechanic.
Right.
You, you,
Exactly.
you see, it's just, yeah. So I would say
Exactly.
that was probably mine. Mine would be if I could change it. I know it was a long, I'm looking at the time, it's a long winded way of getting around to the answer, but I had to talking it out. But no, I would say it would be more normalized by society from the standpoint of if that's what you want to do, cool. I'm not going to judge you because of it. Because I had and this goes back to a conversation I had with one of with Miss Juliet.
Miss Juliet.
And it just my thing was is I had an ex girlfriend that asked me. She said, "What is it about this catfight that you like so much?" And I sat there and I had to think about it. Like it. I literally thought about it for 2 weeks, and it finally hit me. The thing that I loved most about it was it never judged me. And
Exactly.
it never judged me. It never judged me. It didn't judge me and saying, "Oh well, you this, you that, you can't." No, it never judged me. It was like, if you like it, fine. If you don't, fine. If you like this in it and that in it, like some people don't mind fighting, but they want some sexual elements. You got some they don't want sexual. No
Yep.
matter what scope of it you like in it, it never judged me. It didn't say that well because you like sexual elements, then oh you got to be sick of the head. It just like because you have like for example some sexual wrestlers that will not fight women. They only want to fight men.
Yep. Yeah. True. There's some women
You
that
have
just love
some
makes
you have
due
some
to the
sexual
experience.
wrestlers that don't want to fight nude.
Yep.
That's fine. You have some that don't even want to fight topless. They'll fight all day long, as long as they ain't fighting topless.
Right.
Okay. But are we going to well they're not a real fighter because they won't fight nude or they won't fight topless
That's
because
nonsense.
we've already talked about how our European counterparts how
They're
to them are
comfortable with
like
it. It
right,
don't mean nothing.
and a lot of right, and it's just the nuances of it. And I think that's why, in my personal opinion, the business of just competitive fighting, whether it's a cat fight or rules cat fighting or whatever, and I think that's why it's stronger overseas than it is here.
Yep.
Now, I think, and we've done this before, going down talent level. When you took their top 20, our top 20, I think we can roll. You know, the U.S. versus them. I think we can roll neck and neck. But if we were gonna go like 50 deep,
No. No
75
chance.
deep,
Nah.
they running all day.
Yep.
They running all day because at some point, dealing with all these barriers as we as an American society has, and don't even add this part. That's a whole nother thing. Sisters don't want to get a hairport and all that just because of what we've been indoctrinated as a people when it comes to hair and all that. It just
Right.
culturally, it's just a whole and us.
Right.
You're asking for the moon. So,
So yeah,
um,
we should. I'm thinking about something. I should probably put it out there. Say, I mean, when it comes to the fans, fighters, fans, what's a cat fight, right? I know it's kind of we're gonna have broad answers, but it'll be interesting to see what people are saying. We know what you said. I know what you
you
said.
don't have to. It'll happen every 2 to 3 months, and the thing that I hate about it is when it does flare up, which it does every 2 to 3 months,
Yep,
how quickly the name it gets in the name caller and the grading. And I'm sitting
I
there.
agree with you.
It's
So
not like we got 20 million people doing this.
we have a select few.
We have a select few. And then more often than not, the people that just be harping and hollering the loudest are people when it comes to sponsoring stuff,
That know to
and
be seen.
then well, nobody never see you a day in your life.
Never see the day of
Or
light.
or your profile picture. You only got like 37 followers, and when none of us have ever seen you, and we don't hear from you, and you're from that, and then you change and become a whole nother account. And it's like,
And that's my favorite part. And that's my favorite part.
why
My favorite
am
part is these people making accounts. I'm looking at the account like, when was this thing made? December 2001, 2021. So you telling me that this month you decided to make a Twitter account with no profile? Like you said, you just here trying to be a, as you call it, a meme. You just here to troll, just to say nonsense.
I
Yeah,
just
and as fans, we need to understand. We need as fans. I'll talk about myself included. We have to understand that y'all schedules are very hard. I'm talking about producers and or fighters because y'all have to move stuff around. As we as fans, most of us are not. Most of us understand, but some of us people just want to push our own agendas. I want to see this. I want to see that. I want to see this. I want to see that.
which
It
is
don't work
fine
like that.
which is no. Well, I will push back on that. Which is fine if you want a
I expect you to
custom.
push back on that.
If you want a custom,
Yeah, but most of these people don't want custom. Most of these people
but,
want
but
is
I'm just saying,
particular.
and then if you can push an agenda if you're willing to custom, you put money on it. Now, granted, one thing I think is tough for me as a producer is when the fan. This is just me as a producer. Is when the fans ask for something that you cannot deliver
Mm.
because either you don't have the talent to do it or your talent is not comfortable doing it. And it's like, well, I would say, let, let because then the thing is, and those are one of those things as a producer, I just rather just take the bullet for it because the last thing you want is again for the talent. This is not their day job. This is not what they want to do all day long. They're not
No.
spending every waking moment of their day thinking about this.
Mm-mm.
That being said, so sometimes when they get a custom request and that custom whoever's wanted the custom fulfilled may be a complete fan of your work to the borderline obsessive, but it's to the point where it's like if it comes across as if the girl just this is out of her boundaries or out of her range, now the girl gets vilified, and that's when you say the fake accounts when somebody just because they'll be so mad they know. Okay, well, they already know who I am. If I was just to go off on Twitter, let me create a dummy account so I can go off and talk about. You
Yeah,
see what I'm saying? It's just kind of like,
exactly.
dude, really? Or um, or one that you will see a lot often is when fans will ask for stuff when girls are willing to do, because I've been on both sides of the coin. I've been more so on the latter of, say for example, if there's certain producers they're willing to fight nude with, or they're willing to fight topless, or they're willing
Mm,
to fight, or whatever, XYZ, or with sexual penalties or whatever. But for you, nah, they're not gonna do it. And it's not that they're not open to it, it's just they're not open to it to do it with you. And that's where you gotta kind of be like, all right, well, they just, all right, well, if you ever want to revisit it, I'm open to it. And this is where you have to be the adult, because you have, for a lot of fans, it's like they're like, I know, shout out to Paris. I know she caught flack for, like I think she did, what was it, the evolve les fights or whatever,
yep, the one
and
with Ariel X. Yep.
yeah, with Ariel X's group. And now, because she even had to have a whole live talking about people that was upset. I guess, for example, that was wanting to schedule sessions with her, but then it was
Mm,
mad that she wouldn't do anything sexual in the
mm,
sessions
mm.
when she's not going to do that in sessions. Now, just
Duh.
because she did it on videos and stuff like that,
Yep.
you can buy it, doesn't mean that she was. And even then, it wasn't like she was gonna do it with the guy. She might do it with the guy. And again, but it's just not like you're gonna do it. Even if let's say the person that wanted to do the session wanted her to wrestle their wife or whatever, that don't mean that she's still gonna do a sex fight with your wife. Yeah, she don't.
Yeah, because
It
like you said,
wasn't
everybody has boundaries. Everybody
right.
has boundaries, as you said. Everybody has
Yeah.
no, not what do you call it, non-negotiables that they're going to do. There's certain things they're going to do, and there's certain things they're not going to
Yeah.
do.
And you have some people that literally, when I say literally have no boundaries, they have not. They can care. They're like, look, as long as it don't kill me, I'll try. I'll give it a try. And so, variety is the spice of life. You have some that's more open minded than others.
Yep.
And but it's just one of those things. Like, I know, like, and to use another one of my favorite fighters, Kim Lee. I know
Yep.
Kim Lee. I think her thing was she wouldn't fight. Was it naked?
Yeah,
I
I think
think for
so.
years she wouldn't fight naked.
Nope.
And I don't think to this day she still have.
She still hasn't. She's done topless, but
She's
not
done
naked.
top, but I remember it was a while before she even got to that.
Yep. It took her
Like
years
she
before she
didn't
got to that.
even before she even got comfortable enough to fight topless.
Yep.
But I remember it was like, but
Dude,
but that still to me doesn't take away from the fact that she's still one of the best fighters. I mean, sometimes she don't wear the tiniest of G string, but that still doesn't take away from the fact that I think she's one of the baddest women on the planet, walking on 2 feet.
now that you brought that up, I'm thinking I was, now that you brought up fighting dolls, I'm I'm I know this is a long list. I know I'm asking a lot by asking this, but who are your favorite? Well, let's just make it simple. Your favorite top 10 fighters. I don't care if you have to go back a while to look back. And you don't have to do it in no particular order. But Kim Lee is definitely one of my favorite fighters for sure. Uh lady named Annie is definitely one. Luna is one. And there's no particular order. I'm just naming.
Annie, I don't know Annie. Who's Annie? Who's Annie?
She's I talk about fighting dolls. She's fairly new in this fighting dolls.
Oh, okay.
I talk about fighting dolls now. I talk
Okay.
about the company. People like Denise.
So you
People
want
like
me
Ren.
to? So you want me to name my top 10
Yeah.
ladies from Fight Dolls?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
I said 10 because I don't want to do 20 because it gets more complicated.
dude. To be honest, I don't know if I can even name 10. The Fight Dolls?
I can name 10.
Ooh, okay.
I can name 20.
No, 10. I just don't know them all like that. I mean, I can think of 10 names, maybe 20 names, but I can't tell you if they're any good or not because to me, it's just me. After a while, it all kind of
Mm. Yeah.
ran together. It's like, oh, okay. I'm just saying. I'm just saying because it just all kind of like was faceless. It's just a matter of are they with blonde hair or they with red hair or the what? I'm just
Okay,
saying.
let me ask this kind of question. So we know Fight Dolls is one of the top European ones, European fighting companies. I'm trying to think who else is one of the top ones.
I mean, if you got fighting dogs on one side, you got fighting divas on the other.
Fighting Divas, Italian
You got
female wrestling is up there.
ISW. You know, you got Russell Monica. You got
Yep.
you got
Speaking of Wrestle Monica, they had a live event I think 3 weeks ago. So it's in like all the
I
top
mean,
people go to that one.
You got APL. You know, for whatever
APL's gone
reason.
down, man. I used to like APL Portugal, but it's gone down for me. I don't know what's going on. That's just my opinion. It used to be great. Now it's just gone down.
Yeah, I just
It's just sad.
it just
Used to be
it,
Foxy Combat and the rest of these others.
oh wow. You know what? That's a name I hadn't heard in a minute.
They're still in business, my guy.
Are
Still in
they
business.
are they still pushing out content like they used to, or is it kind of like one of them things? It's kind
It's
of.
kind of slowing down. It's not like it used to be. They used to push content like crazy. Now it's kind of slowed down. It's like once or twice a month or something now,
Do
or
you
once
think a
every
lot
two
of that
months.
has to do with the competition now? Because you have fighting dolls, fighting divas.
Yep. Yep.
You know, and, I mean, there's only so many bodies going around, for lack of a better
Yep.
term. Yeah. So,
All right, fans. We're gonna wrap this up.
yeah, because
Anything
you
you
had
want to
this
say
on the
before
top
we wrap
10
it?
list. I'm sitting there. I'm like, "Yeesh." I will say the three fighters. I mean, there's a few. I mean, like Valaka, I never cared for her, but I know she was always tough and she always was good at what she did.
Yeah,
Um, but
Blanca
the
for
three
sure.
fighters, to me, it has to be that match because I think they're cute. I think their fighting skills is good, and I like the energy that they bring. The three fighters, I would say, that I always liked out of fighting divas. I mean, fighting dolls was Kim Lee. I'm sorry, Kim Lee. I would say Anastasia.
Yeah, yeah, she's on
You
my
know
list.
you gonna get a great match out of her. And Mel.
Yep, Mel is on my list too.
Mel's been around for years.
Mel's on my list too.
Mel was one that had to grow on me because at first, Mel, I was like, okay, but the more tattoos Mel got,
Hey,
and then you could tell the girls who had some work now augmentation and some that whatever but it's just that I
mm,
would say Mel I really like because they really all three of them sell the match well.
I
There was
agree.
another one, redhead. I don't think
Luna's
Luna.
her name.
I don't know.
Her
Yeah,
name's Luna. She's good.
I think she's done well. But I
Mm,
mean, it's like some of the other ones, like Tamia C. You got some other ones. There's another one. A little bitty small petite girl. I can't think of her name.
yeah,
But oh god, that will come back to me at some point. But it's like for some of them, I just like it just what kind of energy and stuff you bring into a match. With Eva, she got her group. Aditha, she's been around for years. Russell Monica. I was so happy to see um, that, and I bought it. Spice and Ivy Saturday fought each other. It was competitive grappling, and I bought that because
ah,
I've been wanting to see them too. And I'm talking about just straight up grappling, and it was awesome. I
mm,
was surprised by the results. I
good,
was surprised. It was a good result. I was mildly surprised by the result.
very good.
Yeah. The thing that shocked me is I thought they was be most closer in size than it actually was.
Mm,
Ice is a little bit more heavy and got a little bit more junk in the trunk. Now I was like, and Ivy ain't no wilting flower either. So I was
yeah,
shocked. I was like, ooh,
I'll talk more about that in the after in a what you call it in the after.
uh-huh.
Yeah,
Something
I
like
don't want
that.
to talk about it now, but I'll talk about
Okay.
that.
Yeah. But I really did enjoy that. I enjoy that. So I'm trying to make it. To be honest, I'm trying to make an effort to at least one at least once a month buy something overseas, like on purpose.
Mm.
I'm trying to do that just to stay broad and stay current with what's
When it comes to
happening
the
now.
Spice and Ivy Saturday, who is actually producing it? Is it Spice or is it Ivy Saturday or who is it? Because I'm thinking about it.
Oh,
I'm
I
actually
don't
thinking
know.
about buying that one because you
Clips
gave it
for
a good review.
sale.
You gave it a good review that
It
I'm thinking
was
about it.
clips for sale. God, who's trying to think who's I found it on clips for sale. I'm trying to remember.
Was it Ancha? Because she's known for her fighting thing. That's another DWW one.
I don't remember. I don't remember. I have to look. I have to look at the receipt. Who was the producer for it? Because it was like in some gym, and they had fans spectators because you could hear them in the background.
Yep,
And I want to say it was not wrestling Monica. I'm
gotcha,
almost certain it wasn't. It wasn't IFW, and it wasn't wrestling Monica. It was
gotcha.
another. I have to look back. It
I'm
could be
pretty
something.
sure I'll look it up in Google myself, and hopefully it'll if I've spelled it correctly, it'll pop up.
Right.
Anything else we need to say before we get out of here?
No. No.
With that being said, guys, our next show is going to be 2 days after Christmas, and it's also the last show of the 2020 of the 21 season.
Yes.
The Claus and Clem show, as everybody knows, second and fourth Mondays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, 8:30 Central time, 6:30 on the left coast, or as I like to call it, the West Coast. We are
Yeah.
from the parts unknown, but before we leave, we're giving socials. I could be reached at Clem Okufo 3000 on IG or Clem Okufo on Twitter.
And I can be reached on at Web on Twitter and IG. Yes, I still have them both for right now.
Do we have
IG
anything?
IG
Yeah,
has
go ahead.
picked up some traffic, so
Do we have anything planned for the last show of the year by chance?
not offhand. Not offhand. So I know some of this what we talked about. I know we had talked about maybe discussing like what was our I guess we can talk about what was our favorite fights of the year. I would say
Definitely, definitely.
2021. You know,
2021
maybe
has not been bad. Not bad.
yeah, not bad compared to 2020. Now, I think 2021 started off with the bang.
Oh, it started with a bang. It did.
It started with the bang.
Yeah,
But I would say we can discuss that when we both come with our list of our top five
yeah. Me and
fights
you,
of the
we
year.
definitely gotta be talking about that one. I already, I'm not gonna be spoiling it, but this two certain fights that are gonna make the list. I'm not saying any names. You know who they are. I'll leave it at that. With that being said, I am Clement Okufo. This is Klaus Webb. We are out. See you guys in 2 weeks for the last show.
Yes, sir.
All right.